Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. Fellow COFSIs, good afternoon. Good afternoon. My name is Motlogala Paul Moema, colleagues, and I have the distinct pleasure and privilege of being the program director for today. Motlogala Moema, I am the Institutional Student Governance Manager. And this is a very special occasion. I believe this is the first time on this campus that we're going to be having an inauguration ceremony in this manner. But it's also extra special to me because, of course, as you would know, having been newly appointed, you are the first SRC for whom I will be facilitating this process. It is truly an honor to be here. Now, with that being said, I'd like to acknowledge and appreciate the presence of the President General, the #1 student of the University of the Free State, President Katlaolo Chuo. President, in your cabinet, you are acknowledged. The incoming President of the Student Representative Council, and his incoming cabinet, President Toka. You are also welcome in your cabinet, my good sir. I'd like to appreciate the presence of our Commissioner of Oath, Ms. Mamello Macheta. Ms. Mamello is a bona fide COFSI. She's a product of this institution and also lived in the space of student activism. Not too long ago, here she is our attorney to give us the oath of commission. And then, of course, our acting Dean of Student Affairs, Ms. Nicole Morris, right there in the front row center, your deanship, you are acknowledged and appreciated. And the IEC chairperson, the man who helped us facilitate these very, very interesting elections that we've had. The chair, Dr. Gray Magaiza, say you are also acknowledged and appreciated. Now, with that being said, colleagues, mine is a very simple task. Mine is just to welcome you all, and we hope that this will be a prosperous event, and please take a moment to take it in. Now, the competition phase of the leadership process has begun, came, and gone. Now the difficult part begins. As difficult as elections are, you must understand, what stands before you now is the responsibility to serve. That's why we felt that it's important that you would need to take an oath that all students can see. It will be broadcasted, and students will be able to know that on this day, these individuals took a pledge that they will serve us in this particular manner. So please, as you take an oath, it is exactly that, an oath of office, and you must treat it with the respect that it deserves. But right now, on the stage, I'm going to call Dr. Gray Magaiza, from the ELC of the institution, to give us the official report of the SRC elections. A round of applause, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Program Director, for organizing and also for directing this auspicious occasion. I will give a brief background and a brief introduction and a brief outline of these elections. And I'm just going to read my 45-page speech, so just be patient. Thomas Paine, an English-born American political philosopher, once stated, every election is determined by the people who show up. I would like to congratulate all the candidates and students on the Bloemfontein campus for mobilizing the biggest voter turnout ever. So you can give yourself a round of applause. Compared to 2019, there was a 9.5 3% increase in terms of voter participation. So that's the first success. The second success is that this was the first ever digital election. So well done to all of you for adapting to a digital age. So that's, I think, another round of applause. Before announcing the elections, I would like to thank my colleagues in the ELC who tirelessly assisted to ensure that these first ever digital elections were a resounding success. Kamuhelo Titebe, Pulane Malefane, and Zulani Mjelele, thank you so much for making even my role as the ELC much more easier. I would also like to thank KDBS Consulting for effectively administering our e-voting platform and troubleshooting issues together with the ELC as and when they arose. I would also like to thank Mr. Miema and the governance team for his hands-on and grounded approach to the electoral process. We were able to preempt and proactively manage issues because of that. So thank you, Mr. Miema. I would also like to thank our acting Dean of Students who offered strategic oversight and critical leadership during these first ever digital elections. So, Acting Dean, you have presided over a history-making process. Well done. To the Institutional Management Rectorate, thank you so much for operationalizing and optimizing core governance, in many respects leading the sector nationally. So I'm going to announce now the elections as they are. I'll start with the ex officio. I'll start from, on my list, it's at the bottom, but not the least important. Sports Council, the ex officio portfolio goes to Bongumusa Komalo. Arts and Culture Council, Katleho Kaola. Civic and Social Responsibility Council, Gert Teblanche. Universal Access and Social Justice Council, Katleho Sekele. Student Media and Dialogue Council, Wandile Mangele. International Student Council, Rufaro Chakanyuka. Postgraduate Student Council, Nico Jantse van Ransberg. Campus Residence Council, Mpo Maobane. Day Residence Council, Sibongiseni Mcela. Academic Student Council, Katleho Boysen. In terms of the electoral portfolios, commuter students, there were 3 candidates there. Lusanza Feleza with 1,582, which was 20.6% of the vote. Marumo Rakwata with 1,643, which was 21.4% of the vote. Dimpo Mohwantle, 4,469, which was 58.1% of the vote. So the candidate for commuter students is Dimpo Mohwantle. Student development and first generation students, Offense Ntsane, 1,365, 17.6% of the vote. Fumulani Sidinza, 1,707, 22% of the vote. Tiamo Sibolai, 4,681, 60.4% of the vote. The winner there was Tiamo Sibolai. Police and Transformation, Nompumelelo Koza, 1,178, 15.1% of the vote. Tabo Duma, 1,649, 21.1% of the vote. Fusimuzi Alane, 4,988, 63.8% of the vote. Mr. Fusimuzi Kalane is the representative for that portfolio. Treasurer, Tandiwe Kula, 2,246, 29.3% of the vote. Orefile Sefika, 5,425, 70.7% of the vote. Ms. Orefile Sefika is the treasurer. Secretary, Simpiwe Zonke, 1,660, 21.7% of the vote. Ayanda Tlova, 5,988, 78.3% of the vote in that portfolio. Ayanda Tlova takes over that portfolio. Deputy President, Esona Yapi, 2,116, 27.6% of the vote. Loretta Mosito, 5,563, 72.4% of the vote. Loretta Mosito will assume the role of Deputy President. President Kamohelo Seleke, 1,960, 25.4% of the vote. Jerry Toka, 5,747, 74.6% of the vote. So the president of the SRC will be Jerry Toka. In my capacity as ELC chair, I hereby declare the results fair, credible, and legitimately represent the voting wishes of the students registered on the Bloemfontein campus. Thank you so much.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, may I please have a warmer round of applause? I mean, it is official now. Effective from the 1st of April, we will have a new SRC in office. No, thank you, Chair of the Council. Thank you very much. Now we're moving on to the third item on our program. And I would like to call the President of the Student Representative Council. I've been told that the President does not speak, but rather the President addresses. So, ladies and gentlemen, one more time, the President General of the University of the Free State, President Katlaule Chulo, to address.
Andia, wimulu, we molo, wimulu, awe mulu, andia, wimulu, we molo, wimulu, mulu, yatsuwa using jabona magufsi, how yitamaya lewena, we mulu, mulu. I don't know, maybe we are very tired and exhausted, which of course would be expected. But nonetheless, amazing grace, how sweet the sound that saved a wretch like me. I was once lost, but now I'm found. Was blind, but now I see. Was grace that taught my heart to fear, and grace my fears relieved. How precious did that grace appear, the hour I first believed. Through many dangers, toils, and snares, we have already come. It was grace that brought us thus far, and grace will lead us home. And yes, indeed, grace will lead us home. To Ms. Nicole Morris, the Acting Dean of Student Affairs, Institutional Student Governance Manager, Mr. Mutlogela Moyema, my brother, who is also the former CSRC President at our sister campus, the mighty Qwaqwa campus, and your wonderful team. Thank you very much. Dr. Gray Magaiza, the UFS Elections Logistics Committee Chairperson, thank you for your stellar work, sir. You and your team, together with KDBS Consulting, have outdone yourself by giving us free and fair SRC elections. Mrs. Mamello Macheta from Morocco Tennis, it is an absolute pleasure to have you with us today. The outgoing ISRC, led by the Deputy President General and all outgoing CSRC members, present here today in honor of this auspicious event. All student leaders and substructures of the Institutional Student Representative Council, students and community members of the UFS who are with us in this afternoon via social media platforms, but most importantly, the incoming Campus Student Representative Council for the current administration led by fighter Jerry Toka. A ke nke sebaka sena o le dumedisa bohle, ke re dumelang ho lona bana beso. Allow me, like every other member of the University of the Free State, to wish the newly elected CSRC president and all who labor with him Godspeed. I pray that the coming months will be blessed with peace and prosperity for all, and that you will serve the student body with humility, dignity, and respect. Program Director said, indeed, whatever that has a beginning has an end, and whatever that he, the Lord, has begun shall surely come to a successful end. 18 months ago, it was the students of this very same campus who put their hope on and entrusted us with the humongous task of representing them in the highest decision-making structures of student governance at the University of the Free State. My fellow students, today is my last opportunity to speak to you as your CSRC president. I am profoundly grateful to you for giving me the honor to serve, to work for you, and work with you. We all stood together as a very energetic and ambitious team as we were taking oath, preparing ourselves to serve the student populace. It was like a marriage between two people that loved each other dearly, who did not even think at any given moment about their union ending. But today, as we gather here, the time has come to say goodbye. And even though we say goodbye, and as the future remains uncertain as to whether we will meet or not, bonnete ba taba ke hore di sa kopaneng ke dithaba, le ka meriti di a kopana. It was not an easy one. Like any other brigade of soldiers going into war, we were ready for whatever that lied ahead. We're equal to the task, and our limitations to every war we went to were guided by the quantity and quality of our weaponry. It was and still very unfortunate that when we were preparing to wage war against student exclusion, hunger, and inability to access the system and hold student activism to high regard, we were hit by a global pandemic that changed the whole concept of student leadership, amongst others, and forced us to regroup and redeem ourselves. I, for one, do not take the opportunity to have led the students of the University of the Free State until thus far for granted, and would accurately want to believe even the members of the outgoing council feel the same way. This is one opportunity you can never think about as a first year, but with time and years later, once and when you are in, you get to imagine how privileged you are to be calling yourself a member of the Student Representative Council, and all because of the trust students put on you to deliver and advocate for them. We knew that as students, we needed to go back to the basics, and therefore as a council, we agreed that together we will ensure that we contribute to maintaining and enhancing student life in all the relevant aspects such as student life, academic and social areas. Encourage and support active participation. And that is why our term was guided by two cardinal pillars of guidance: student access and student activism. Now, as I prepare to hand over to the newly elected CSRC president, together with his team, allow me to reflect on the book of Deuteronomy 31, verse 7 to 8, where it speaks about the transferring of power from Moses to Joshua after leading the Israelites out of Egypt through many unwanted experiences. And the Bible says, and I quote, "Then Moses called Joshua and said to him in front of all Israel, 'Be strong and have strength of heart. For you will go with this people into the land that the Lord has promised to their fathers to give them, and you will bring them in to take it. The Lord is the one who goes before you. He will be with you. He will be faithful to you and will not leave you alone. Do not be afraid, Jerry, my brother in Christ. Do not be troubled, my comrade. Close quote. Remember that above anything else, the greatest secret is doing your best as a collective and serving with a clear conscience. It is important to take criticism in good faith, bearing in mind that not every critique has an evil intention, but can also mean well. Now, as painful as it is, I forever cherish the time spent growing, learning, unlearning, and relearning during my term as the first student on campus. I will take all the memories, small and big, with me wherever I go, and one day the world shall know how precious it was. A special word of thanks and appreciation to all CSRC members I had an opportunity to serve with. You guys were a much needed part of my life. From Musidis who at times would wake me up in the middle of the night to ask me about an issue that was long responded to Tyrone, who at times when I felt like giving up would chip in a paragraph of motivation and made me rise again. Thank you all for availing yourself to the student body. I wish you well with your future endeavors. On the 19th of March, 2021, I shared a picture of our inauguration in 2019 on Facebook with the following caption, open quote, "As the end gets nearer and nearer, all that happened was a mistake. I came, I saw, and fully confess that it was all worth it. It is for the grace of God that I give thanks." Close quote. Now indeed the time has arrived to let go. To everyone that played a part during our term, thank you so much. But most importantly, to the students of the University of the Free State, thank you, and thank you once again for allowing us to serve you. And as for me, I will leave the presidency more idealistic, more full of hope than the day I arrived, and more confident than ever that Kofsi's best days lie ahead. Now, my days in this office are nearly through, but my days of service, I hope, are not. In the time ahead, I will never hold a position higher or a covenant more sacred than that of being the Student Representative Council President of the University of the Free State. But there is no title I will wear more proudly than that of being a proud Kofsi. Now we pray that peoples of all faiths, all races, all nations may have their great human needs satisfied, that those now denied opportunity shall come to enjoy it to the full, that all who yearn for freedom may experience its spiritual blessings, that those who have freedom will understand also its heavy responsibilities, that all who are insensitive to the needs of others will learn charity, that the scourges of poverty, disease, and ignorance will be made to disappear from the earth, and that in the goodness of time, all peoples will come to live together in a peace guaranteed by the binding force of mutual respect and love. May the year 2021 be guided by nothing but grace and favor, all in the spirit of goodwill and servanthood. Till we meet again, salang hantle bana beso, totons mekar viersen, baya danki. Now I would like to take this opportunity and request the President to join me on stage. Now, as I was preparing to hand over and going through my speech, I thought about what would be ideal to give to the incoming SRC president. Now what I have, and I would like to share it with the colleagues so that they know what is it that we're giving you. I have a beep, a reflector, in our layman's term. I have a green, light green reflector that is written at the back, UFS SRC. And now with this beep, what I'm saying to you, my brother, to you and the council, this is the beep that I'm giving to the incoming president, is that may you always be reflective in all your strides as the incoming president. May the students see you at all times. May the students not be afraid to come to you at all times. Thank you so much. And then, lastly, I have a notebook and a pen. So as you are reflective, as students see you, take this notebook and write all student issues, but do not just write them. Write on this UFS designed notebook. Thank you so much, and I wish you all the best with your term. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'd like to call to the stage the current Minister of Sports. The Minister of Sports, accompanied by Bongumusi Kumalo, the incoming Minister of Sports. A round of applause, colleagues. Yes, Pambu, yeah, I know the height, yes. Yes, and then, okay. And then you take off your gown and just hand it over to it. Ah!
Yeah.
Yes, man.
It's your time.
Thank you, colleagues. Now calling the Arts and Culture Portfolio. Assembly. Portfolio bearers for the Arts and Culture Portfolio, colleagues. Arts and Culture. Oh yes. Yeah, in the frame. Thank you, colleagues. You see, we're perfecting it. By the time we get to the presidency, we'll just be moving. We are fine. Now calling the portfolio, of course, colleagues, we understand that some of our colleagues are no longer in the system. So for all those, if your predecessor is not here, you need not worry. You will have the honor of being gowned by the Dean of Student Affairs herself. Now, with that being said, Dean, we call you to the front along with Mr. Tarablanche. Yes. This is for the portfolio of Civic and Social Responsibility Council. Guys, this is your event. Manas Cloud would say, you give it that thing. That thing. Wow. Hey, hey. Oh, yes. Thank you very much, colleagues. Now, may we have I've been told also we must be time conscious, colleagues. May I also have portfolio bearers no, Dean, you're fine for now, just for now. For Student Media and Dialogue Council. Yes. And front row center, colleagues, please stand more towards the center. Yes. Closer to the center. Okay, Chile, one thing. Thank you, colleagues. Now calling portfolio bearers for the International Student Council. Listen, we're fine. Thank you very much, colleagues. Remember to stand more towards the center. With that being said, I'll call upon the Dean of Students again and our representative from the Postgraduate Student Council. All right. Now, colleagues, let's call on to the stage the prime of primes, I believe, the portfolio bearers for the Campus Residence Council. Mademoiselle. Madam Prime. Thank you, colleagues. Thank you, colleagues. Now taking matters off campus, I'd like to call to the stage the representatives for the Day Residence Council. All right. Oh. Tape marks the spot, gentlemen. Tapes marks the spot. We note the president flexing with academic things. President, we are reliably informed. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we call the portfolio bearer for Academic Student Council, accompanied by the Dean of Student Affairs. Colleagues, we now call the representatives for Student Organizations Council. Ne? Colleagues, remember, because of time, I'm going to ask that we speed up the power walk as well. You know, give it that thing. Yes, colleagues. We understand. Aish! Colleagues, may we have the outgoing representative for associations student council. If you can just come and take a bow. Just come across and take a bow, my good sir. Unfortunately, successor is not here today for reasons that we are aware of, so my good sir, just take a bow, take off the gown, and thank you for your service. Thank you, colleagues. Now, colleagues, may I please have the representatives for commuter students. Representative for commuter students. Madam, the representative is not here. Oh, okay. Colleagues, represent the rep for student development and first generation students. Please, colleagues, for the oath, we need to speed up the process, colleagues. Yeah. All right, colleagues. The portfolio of policy and transformation, colleagues. Policy and transformation. We will soon be engaged. will soon be engaged in the process of SR constitutional review. Yes, yes, yes. Chief anarchist. Hey. No, leaders, you must graduate and know these things, man. Your inexperience is exposing you. Colleagues, may we please have, accompanied by the Dean of Students, our Mgena Mafa, the Treasurer. Again, colleagues, cautious of time, please, please. Where is it? Yes, yes. Dean? Yes. Colleagues, before we get to the top three, may we have the representative for civil and social responsibility? Because when the picture was being taken, there was the mask was not on. So for the sake of that picture, may we once again have our representative from the social and civil responsibility. Mr. Tara Blanche, yes, sir. Give him an applause again, guys. It doesn't hurt, man. Ow, ow. Oh. PhD. No, judging from the credentials being announced here, you're very educated, man. And fundile, man. Aye. You are Leonard. Thank you, colleagues. May we have representatives from Universal Access and Disability, colleagues. Universal Access and Disability. Yes, please. Oh. Thank you, colleagues. Now calling the engine of many organizations, the Secretariat Office, colleagues. The Secretariat Office. Colleagues, colleagues, we need to release Miss. Abodombala bethu. Thank you very much, colleagues. Now, responsible for discipline in the SRC, let me call the second in command, which would be the Deputy President of the SRC. Colleagues, now we call upon the highest seat in office. Give a warm round of applause, a standing ovation if you can, for the presidency of the University of the Free State, Bloemfontein Campus. Thank you very much, colleagues. A warm round of applause. Now, colleagues, I'd like to call our commissioner on oath to take over the stage. We're running against time, unfortunately, President. Now, this part, colleagues, like I said, it's an oath of office. Please, you must be attentive in what is being said, and you must take it to heart. This is one of, don't catch feelings. This is one of those things that requires you to catch feelings as you say the oath. Thank you, madam.
You're welcome. Good day, everyone. Libitso laka, my name is Mamello Makgetha. I am an admitted attorney of the High Court, and by virtue of my position, I am entitled to give this honorable oath to all who are incumbent. We are going to do a group oath because of time and due to regulations. Under normal circumstances, we would call each one of you to the stage and then they'll leave. But right now, I think, as per our discussions, yes, that everyone else comes through, right? Please raise your right hand. Please listen to what I'm saying. After I say I, you call out your name. Sworn under the oath, I hereby solemnly swear to serve the University of the Free State, Bloemfontein Campus, and in particular, its student community, in accordance with the CSRC Constitution, to the best of my ability. I acknowledge that I will be accountable to the university and the student community at large, and I will uphold the proud name and reputation of our institution. Congratulations. Thank you.
Dr. Graham Geyser, ELC Chair. President Lichu, ISRC President. Members of the outgoing Bloemfontein Campus Student Representative Council, members of those who represent the ISRC, Mr. Jerry Mofokeng, our Bloemfontein Campus President, and his colleagues, and most importantly, of course, the colleagues in Student Affairs. I welcome you to this afternoon's Bloemfontein Campus Student Representative Council inauguration. This afternoon, I would like to firstly start off by saying thank you to the leadership of the Bloemfontein Campus Student Representative Council. We have not been together for a very long time, but I have to say the past 7 weeks have given me a clear indication of, one, where your hearts were when you took the oath last year, and two, your commitment to serving students, and I thank you for that. To the incoming Student Representative Council. Now, it's very, very important that you familiarize yourself with this book, and I'm using this book deliberately, because this book is going to guide you as you traverse the next few months. And I'd like to congratulate you for making it thus far, because 2020 was no ordinary year, and you successfully traversed a year that none of us could have anticipated. And so I'd firstly like to congratulate you for that. As the University of the Free State, we recognize the importance of diversity within our historical context as a country, and of course as the Free State in particular. We commit ourselves to building and sustaining an institution that upholds the principles of equity and equality as envisaged in Section 9 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, and maintaining a democratic institution founded on principles entrenched in the Bill of Rights of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa. Now, I don't have much time because I'm aware that we will be together for a while, but my request this afternoon is that in all your endeavors, you remember to maintain and always uphold the founding principles as upheld by the ISRC and its substructures. And so what we ask is for student-driven leadership, for student-centered leadership, academic excellence at all times, leadership that is non-racist or non-sexist, leadership that understands the foundation and the principles of democracy, of Ubuntu, of equity and equality, of good cooperative governance. As the highest student representative body, it's important that you understand your role in the space. A leadership that is accountable, a leadership that is transparent, and a leadership that does all it does and serves the interests of students with integrity. It's not going to be an easy year. In fact, it's going to be one of your most challenging years. But I encourage you to take on the baton and to run with it. And so I encourage you to be the woman and the man in the arena. And with that, I leave you with this quote. It is not the critic who counts, not the woman or man who points out how the strong woman or man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the woman or man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, who spends himself or herself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he or she fails, at least fails while daring greatly. So that his or her place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. I wish you well in this coming year. I look forward to working with you all. Welcome.
Thank you very much, fellow colleagues and all members present here. Nicole Morris, Acting Dean, Mr. Moema, the Institutional Student Governance Manager, in absentia, just left us Advocate Mamello Macheta,
who's in charge of the current case that I'm undergoing, where I was arrested at the gate. Outgoing institutional president, Katlego Lecho, together with the outgoing SRC. The incoming campus student representative council, led by the most capable deputy president, Loretta Musito. Greetings, colleagues. We're not prepared for this moment, but well, of course, part of leadership is that we be able to speak in times where we're not prepared. So I'll just say a few words, comrades. Nationally and otherwise, we as the incoming SRC are assuming office at the most critical time at a national level, particularly in student activism, where students of this country have come to realize that the promise that has been given to us by the current government has not been met, and are becoming conscious and rising to calling more on the reality of free education. Well, of course, informed by the appreciation that there is deliberate and evident, clear to be seen, exclusion that seems to be happening across the country in all institutions of higher learning. So we are entering office at the most critical time. We'd like to say to the outgoing SRC that we've witnessed from your side resilience, we've witnessed from your side at all times capacity and willingness to always jump to the task when called upon to do so. We are saying we're taking inspiration from you, colleagues, and we are saying that avail yourself at all times. We might have acted otherwise outside of office, but those comrades are in the past. Your comrades will be our immediate turn at all times when we seem to not know where the way is. Every single one of you must please avail themselves in the advisory capacity to advise the incoming SRC so that we're able to lead the students of this university. To the incoming SRC, together with myself, we have created an expectation within the student populace that we will deliver on the promises that we've given students. But it is important that I state, colleagues, that there seems to be a misinformed expectation that our term of office will be one that is characterized by instability in the campus. Well, of course, informed by the organization that has deployed the elective portfolios. We want to take this opportunity and make things clear that when we said we're sending in a radical student representative council, it totally had nothing to do with instability, totally had nothing to do with chaos. The radicalism was speaking of its intellectual radicalism. The radicalism was speaking of its policy direction radicalism, institutional documents, governance radicalism. We're going to give this institution the most radical. Well, of course, taking the belt from where the outgoing SRC has left off. So we're going to encourage the fellow colleagues that we're entering in office with, and also speak to the student governance office that truly there is no need to panic. Anarchy and instability won't be the character of this incoming SRC. But I've worked with the incoming SRC members that are there and others, of course, and I can guarantee you that you're going to be in office with the most engaging, the most intellectual, and the most willing to help SRC ever. Of course, led by myself. We want to guarantee at institutional level, even at campus level, that will hold at all times the reputation of this institution at the greatest of regard. We will at all times when we act, give the University of the Free State the most credible publicity with respect to student governance. And we plead with the Office of the Student Governance that at all material times, when we reach your office for discussions, especially in times of uncertainty amongst the student populace, we are characterized as leadership that respond with agency when there seems to be matters of concern among students. So we'll plead with your office, student governance, that at all times when we extend our voices to be in discussions with you, we expect that you present yourself to the discussions. The only thing that can inform any behavior outside of calm and certainty in the campus is when the leadership of students calls upon specific offices, and there is no response and deliberate ignoring of students. So, but we trust, as we have displayed, of course, while you have just got into the university, even when we're still at a substructure level, when we called, you availed yourself. We hope that that character will continue onwards. We guarantee at all material times that we will be a student-centered SRC that always at all material times speak on behalf of students. We must not be seen to be antagonistic. We must not be seen to be anarchists. The frustration we have at all times when we approach offices, it will always be informed by the frustration we witness in the faces of students that we interact with. Well, of course, those that led with me would know that I normally say at all material times that my student activism and student leadership is informed and inspired by Jesus Christ, who's the Lord and Savior of my life. In particular, I say that because I'm inspired of him that a man should at all times live for others above himself. So I want to guarantee you that there will never be interests amongst ourselves that seeks to advocate for our own well-being. At all material times when we knock on institutional doors, it will be for the sake of those that have trusted us. And I think we can all agree in this house, together with, of course, the chairperson of the Elections Logistics Committee, that as we have reached the highest number of voters roll, even the margins of elections do say that the students of this university want us to lead this campus, and would plead with the Student Governance Office that we be allowed to lead the students of this university for as long as the constitution of the ISRC dictates that we should lead the students of this university. And colleagues, I'd just like to not keep you here, but extend my most sincere gratitude. While looking forward to working with you efficiently and effectively. Thank you very much. Amandla.